Hello and welcome. It is Tuesday, November 10th, 2020, and this is Truly News. I am your host, Jason Van Sickle. I hope that your day has started off well and that you are having a good week so far. As you head into the day, to help increase your knowledge and expand your insights, let's begin with a review of today's news. As always, we start with a look at the top headlines from across the country, and here are the issues that are leading the news today. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is backing Trump in his legal challenges. He is not claiming that there is fraud in the election, but he is supporting Trump's right to pursue legal actions. Most Republican leaders seem to be taking a similar position at this point, not making their own claims, but also not challenging the president's unsubstantiated claims. After meeting with Mitch McConnell on Monday, U.S. Attorney General William Barr sent a letter to federal prosecutors and the FBI authorizing them to pursue investigations into possible irregularities in the vote counting process. The Associated Press obtained a copy of the letter and reported that Barr said, quote, "I authorize you to pursue substantial allegations of voting and vote tabulation irregularities prior to certification of election in your jurisdictions," unquote, while also adding that they should not chase claims that are, quote, "fanciful or far-fetched," unquote. In other headlines, it has been reported that Cindy McCain, the wife of the late Senator John McCain, has joined the Biden transition team's advisory board. Other headlines report that Biden's team is considering whether legal action will be needed to get the General Services Administration to formally certify the election, as it has failed to do so far. Also in today's headlines, the vaccine being developed by Pfizer and BioNTech has shown a 90% success rate, but the developers are still awaiting data on the drug's safety. Final results are expected later this month. And that is your top news for today. Now, in our look at the news beyond the top headlines, let's start with developments in the areas of science, technology, and space exploration. In science news, scientists have identified key properties in immune cells. New research published in the journal Cell Systems reports that researchers discovered the property that allows immune cells to identify and react to disease. The discovery could lead to things like more effective treatments for diseases and better vaccines. In technology news, researchers develop a new molecular tag for tracking items. Researchers from Washington University and Microsoft are working on using nanoscopic strands of DNA to tag and track items. The scannable system would replace the bulky RF tags used in clothing stores or the printed QR or barcodes used on products. In space news, India launches its first rocket since the start of COVID. On Saturday, India re-entered space for the first time since the start of COVID with the launch of a rocket carrying its own Earth monitoring satellite. It also delivered a payload of 9 other satellites that companies and countries paid India to deliver to space. And that is your science, technology, and space news for today. Now, here is our announcer, Ron Johnson, with recommendations for social engagement. There are many ways to get involved in communities, but the most simple is to just go out and spend time in the community. COVID is limiting our socialization right now, but it is still good to get in the habit of checking your community's events calendar. Those calendars can be found by doing an internet search. In the meantime, go for walks in your neighborhood or drives through your community so you can continue to feel more connected to the area and the people. And that is today's recommendation for social engagement. Thank you, Ron. We now return to our review of today's news with a look at health, social, and environmental news. In health news, a positive attitude has positive mental outcomes as people age. In a new study that has been published in the journal Psychological Science, researchers have found that people who have what psychologists call the positive effect or a positive attitude have better memory and less mental decline in later years. In social news, research helps explain misinformation during the pandemic and elections. The University of Delaware has published studies that shed light on why conspiracy theories and misinformation have been spreading recently. The research found that people are more willing to turn to unfounded reports during times of stress and anxiety. In environmental news, samples from the ocean floor provide global insights into climate change. Researchers from the University of Oldenburg in Germany report in the journal Nature Communications that they found 20,000-year-old dust from multiple continents in core samples from the ocean floor. The discovery provides insights into past climate changes. And that is your health, social, and environmental news for today. Now it is time for our Words of Wisdom, brought to us by philosophy professor Albert Feinstein. And here is Dr. Feinstein.
Socrates once said, "There is only one good, knowledge, and one evil, ignorance." What he points out is knowledge leads to understanding, which leads to good choices and a good life. Ignorance leads to poor choices, difficulty in life, and problems. So, we should work to escape ignorance through the pursuit of knowledge. And those are your words of wisdom for today. Until next time, keep seeking wisdom and believing in your incredible potential. Good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Feinstein. And now we return to the news with a look at economic and world news. In economic news, the stock market reacts positively to Biden's win. Following the declaration of Biden as the winner of the U.S. presidential election, the stock market had one of its best days in months, posting a 3% increase and reaching new 6-month highs. In world news, the World Health Organization looks forward to the Biden administration. The Director General of the World Health Organization issued a statement saying that he looks forward to working very closely with the Biden administration. Biden has signaled that he plans to fully commit the U.S. to continued engagement with the WHO. And that is your economic and world news for today. In entertainment news, we start with new movies, and today's movie is Antebellum. An author is finishing her book tour and preparing to head home to her family when she finds herself in a horrifying reality that she must struggle to escape. Antebellum is now available for rent on multiple streaming services. Moving on, in newly released shows, today's show is Selling Sunset. A real estate brokerage firm in Los Angeles specializes in catering to the rich, which means dealing in the luxury market and the cutthroat business of LA real estate. Selling Sunset is now showing on Netflix. Finally, in entertainment news, we look at newly published books. And our book for today is The 19th Christmas by James Patterson and Maxine Petro. This is the 19th installment of the Women's Murder Club series, featuring Detective Lindsay Boxer, who takes on a criminal that is simply known as Loman. This book is number 3 on the New York Times paperback trade fiction bestseller list. And that is your entertainment news for today. As always, we end our broadcast with Hope for Humanity, stories about the goodness and kindness that people show each other every day. And here is today's story. A man turns his mom's words of encouragement into action. From a story originally reported in the Palm Springs Desert Sun, Zach LaGuardia's mom always encouraged him to make a difference. Recently, he found a way to fulfill that calling. It started with giving sunscreen to the homeless during a hot summer, and grew into bags of necessities. To date, he has given over 1,200 care packages of food and necessities to the homeless. And that is your news for November 10th, 2020. Have a wonderful day.